This forecast brought to you by Bar 32 Chocolate, Rhythm and Spirits, Cuzzy's Pizzeria and Kitchen, and Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall. Check out all 4 great locations conveniently located on Tennessee Avenue in Atlantic City.
All right, guys, so I just wanted to pop in here. It's 9 o'clock or thereabout by the time you watch this video on your Friday night, and we are anticipating the worst of the storm, obviously, is yet to come. But mainly after midnight, we're going to start to see an explosion of the precipitation shield and the pace at which the snow falls. Some of those snowfall rates could be 1 to 2 inches, with some of those higher, heavier mesoscale banding could see 2 to 3 inch per hour snowfall rates. So visibility is definitely going to be reduced. I'm seeing some messages, oh, it's not sticking on the streets in my town. Just give it a little while longer. As soon as the snow starts to fall a little bit heavier, those roads are going to be covered. So between 12 and 4 a.m., the heaviest snow starts to settle in. Between 4 and 8, the gusty winds then are with us. I think on the mainland, north to northwest, 35 to 45 miles an hour. And if there's a potential for some 50-mile-an-hour gusts, that's going to be up and down the immediate coastline. By 8 to 12 o'clock tomorrow, we are looking at the snow slowly tapering off. Some of those last flakes might hold on until about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now, we have some heavier banding going through Winslow and Millville. Already probably about an inch of snow on the ground through Cumberland County, and this is just the start of it, obviously. Sharp northwest cutoff line just to the south and east of Lansdale, but that precip is going to expand in the Norristown, Philadelphia, Abington. But this is going to be a mainly New Jersey thing. Medford, Winslow, Egg Harbor City now getting in on some decent banding. And as we go down into the shore points, this is where we're going to end up with much of the snow, some beneficial banding to get the party started on the mainland. You will get in on that as we go later on into the evening. And zooming out, you'll see that our storm is all the way down here. This is based off of model data, the positioning of this area low pressure. I think it's a little farther west, and that is going to help with the snowfall right here in our backyards. Behind our storm, not a whole lot going on. The sunshine comes back as high pressure builds in on your Sunday. Right now, our trough, its axis is neutral, but it's going to go negative in the coming hours, and we are going to see this storm kind of tugged on a little bit, hugged, if you will, a little closer to the coast, and that is why we are confident in the bigger snow potential for the entire area at this point. We have blizzard warnings in effect for portions of Delmarva, Ocean City, Maryland, Rehoboth, getting into the New Jersey coastline, Long Island, all the way up into the eastern parts of Maine. For us here in New Jersey, it's Monmouth County all the way down to Cape May County, and it is just going to go wild out there later on. In this area, I am absolutely expecting at least a foot of snow. All right, the farther west you go, a little less, but still a significant event as it's going to be snowing through tomorrow morning, even into the early afternoon. Pay attention to the numbers, okay? Marginal right now, but way above our heads, those temperatures are in the lower 20s. It'll get down into the teens. And some of that's going to be translating to the surface eventually overnight. We are going to watch the numbers come down as the heavier banding comes in. At 3 o'clock in the morning, it's snowing heavily at 27 degrees in Tuckerton, but 23 in Media. So your ratios are going to be a little bit higher in the Philly burbs, less precipitation overall, but I think you're going to be able to squeeze out a few inches of snow here and maybe in Philadelphia around 5 or 6 inches. More, obviously, to the south and east. At 7 o'clock in the morning, the wind is blowing, the snow is blowing, and you got temperatures around 20 degrees. This is rare. We typically don't see these bigger blockbuster storms interact with such cold air. Usually we're in the lower 30s here, you know, like 28, 29 up here. So it's a treat for us. It's going to be a powdery snow. All right, it's not that heavy, wet, condensed snow. It's not that back-breaking snow. You're going to be able to just blow it away with a leaf blower. Winds out of the north, gusting into the 20s, but they really pick up overnight after midnight into the 35, 40 mile an hour range. And some of our guidance is suggesting by tomorrow morning there could be some isolated 50 mile an hour gusts out the north-northwest. Even after the snow shuts off, it's going to be a windy day, and our wind chills are going to get down well below zero. Might feel like it's 10 below tomorrow night with that fresh snowpack and whatnot. Your actual air temperatures are probably going to be getting down into the single digits. Now, on the other aspect of this, not expecting a whole lot in terms of tidal flooding. I think there's going to be water in the streets. We went into this forecast having that expectation. Coastal flood advisory for everybody but Cape May County. Cape May County is under a tidal flood warning as we see perhaps low-end moderate flooding down through Wildwood Crest, maybe Stone Harbor, and Cape May itself. So just be mindful of that. I think the farther north along the coast you go, the lower the tides will be. So obviously, road conditions will go downhill. I've seen some texts. I've seen messages saying, oh, my road isn't covered. Just wait a couple hours. It's going to get covered. And really overnight, as that snow picks up in intensity, a 12-hour period, we're not going to want to be on the roads, and then things get better for tomorrow afternoon. Okay, let's look at a couple different forecast models here. I haven't done this yet during the storm. Just want to give you an idea of two differing opinions here. This is the HRRR. This is one of our mesoscale models. You see, as of 3 o'clock in the morning, going about 5 inches in Stafford, a little over 4 in Atlantic City, 3.5 in Winslow, almost 2 in Philadelphia. Oh, there's plenty more snow to come. Your heavy banding comes in 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Look at those totals jump up. And then another push before it finally begins to wrap up. This is going to go 18 inches in Stafford Township, 14 in Winslow and Hamilton, 17 in Atlantic City, 14 in Avalon, 8 in Philadelphia. So that's the HRRR. Let's look at our in-house model and see if that does anything differently. Same idea, heavy snow. I mean, this gets to 5 inches at 2 o'clock already. So this looks like it's going to have a little more modeled on it. 11 in Stafford, 12, 13, 14 in Atlantic City, 11 in Winslow. So the in-house model isn't as robust as the HRRR, but the idea remains the same. Now, this is my actual forecast map that I put together this morning and released it to the public. I have not made any changes, except I took the red out because I think it was a little confusing for some of you. Instead, I just used this dotted line. If this overperforms, if we get those heavier mesoscale banding, if we get thunder snow, if there's an area that gets over 18 inches of snow, it's going to be probably the barrier islands of Atlantic County and then the central and North Jersey coastline. All right, it's very possible. You get back towards Philadelphia, Trenton, Marlton, Hamilton, Vineland, probably in that 6 to 12 inch area, and a little farther north, a little farther north and west, a little less. Doylestown, Norristown, Westchester, I have you guys solidly in a 3 to 6 inch scenario with less from there. Temperatures start to warm up, 37 on Monday, so a lot of the snow will start melting going into the early week, and if it's not gone by Wednesday and Thursday, it's going to be. Another system comes in near 60 degrees on your Thursday. So we are here for the ride all night long. Looking forward to seeing your pictures tomorrow. Have yourselves a great night, and we'll do a Facebook Live before I get some shut-eye later on.